welcome to the Breaking 90 podcast, where we talk about all things sustainable fat loss. We take people on 90-day journeys to creating fat loss forever. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Breaking 90 podcast. I'm here today with my co-host, Kelly Sarlo. We're two of the coaches of Breaking 90 Fitness. Thank you for being here and listening, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hey, Kelly.
How are you, Alex?
I'm doing great. Had a good, productive weekend, which always feels good. We got, when we first moved into this house, I mean, you know this, but for the listeners anyways, when we moved into this house, we didn't have any unfinished storage space. So our garage became that. So since then, it's been like that overwhelming task that we've picked away at here and there, but never really made any progress on it. And this weekend we got like 2 big dump runs done and we got some organizing done. So it's still not even close to where it needs to get, but you feel like you made some headway, and that feels so good. I know everybody that does spring cleaning in general can relate to this. It's like, oh, this can actually become a usable space at some point.
Yeah. And then your brain feels organized. Good for you.
Yeah, it was cool. It was good to get rid of some of that stuff and like old paint cans that the previous owner left and just stuff that's taking up space, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. What do you got for a topic today?
Well, I've been thinking about your journey as a coach, and you started off personal training, so one-on-one. And I know you moved obviously to group coaching and online coaching. And I thought it would be really great to hear from you, your experience of the power of group or the power of community.
Cool. So I'll give a little bit of a background. So I played competitive volleyball in high school and then decided I knew I wanted to be a firefighter, but they don't typically hire firefighters until you're at least 25 years old. So I had some time to kill between high school and becoming a firefighter. So I became a forest firefighter and I started that. And then what happens as a forest firefighter is you get laid off every winter and you look for employment in the winter, which is where I kind of fell into personal training. So backpedal, I'm playing competitive volleyball in high school. I know I've got 7 years before I'm going to start my career. What am I going to do with those 7 years? I'm going to go to school. I want to keep playing volleyball at a varsity level. And I want to get a skill that's going to be something I enjoy and beneficial to me. I decided to take strength and sport conditioning and learn how to make myself a better athlete. Basically, that was the intention of me taking that, was to become a better athlete, to become more physically fit, to become a better candidate for firefighting down the road. I never really saw myself actually becoming a personal trainer, but part of that program was to do placements and internships and that kind of thing. And I started doing different personal training and training opportunities and fell in love with actually working in that side of the industry and not just for myself. So it was interesting how it took a turn and how we got there. But that's how the story started in 2008. Is I became a personal trainer in my off seasons from forest firefighting, and have done it ever since. So I did one-on-one training back then. I also did some group fitness classes, which was a little bit different. So I was at a local YMCA at the time, and anybody could come join the classes. So you didn't really form the relationships with people or anything like that the way that some group fitness gyms do. So I'll talk to that also. But I did a lot of one-on-one training back then. So any questions so far before I keep going?
No, I'm just curious.
Okay, so one-on-one training was cool. You form very close relationships with your clients, the ones you see like 2 or 3 times a week. You start to get to know them well. You know their life. You talk during the session. It's like a hairdresser, right? They're cutting your hair, but 3 times a week. So you're having those conversations that you have with your hairdresser 3 times a week. Now you're going to get to know that person and their situation outside of just the physical component. You're going to have general chit chat that develops. And so I liked that you were building a relationship with these people and getting to know their situations. And I think that makes it a more enjoyable experience for people when they're going to hang out with a friend while they work out, rather than just to follow a workout or a workout video where there's not that human connection, right?
Yeah.
So then about 7 years into that, we moved to Barrie, and I started working at a gym that did all group training. Now, this is different than running group classes at a Good Life or that type of gym. This gym is group training. So people would buy a membership, they'd come to the sessions like a CrossFit type of idea. So you're still getting that same connection. You're seeing the same faces every day, the regulars. There's not just random drop-ins all the time that may or may not show up, right? So it's the same people. Now, instead of training one-to-one, though, you're training one-to-many. There might be 2, 3, 4, 15, 20 people max, but you are seeing those people, you're talking with those people regularly, you talk to them before and after class. So the same type of thing happens with the coach to client relationship, but now they're getting client to other client relationship, which is really cool. They're creating connections that are extra layers of accountability and making the whole experience more enjoyable, because they're networking with other like-minded individuals on a similar journey. I fell in love with that. After doing that, I could never go back to one-on-one, because one-on-one, you're inevitably going to get some shitty clients, right? Until you have so much demand that you can pick and choose.
Yeah.
But you're inevitably going to get some shitty clients that you dread having that session with, because there's no good conversation. They're not motivated. They don't want to work hard. And you're forcing somebody to do something they don't want to do. That's not fun. But when you get the really motivated, high energy people, it's exciting. They're driven. They want to make change. That's cool. In a group situation, you're going to have some of each, but they carry each other. One person doesn't want to drag their ass when 7 other people are busting theirs. Cool. So the really high energy hard workers uplift the people that don't want to work hard, and that community becomes exponentially more powerful. So you're not getting the one-on-one attention anymore. You're not getting the custom program, but you're getting a way bigger accountability community aspect, which to me, for the general population, is worth 1,000,000 times more. Most people do not need a custom program. People think they need a custom program, but we're not that different. Your goals, what you want to achieve in the health and fitness world, will almost always circle back to what you choose to eat and not the training you choose to do. Yeah, I've gone through multiple phases in my own journey, and now hundreds of different clients' journeys where they wanted to put on muscle or cut fat or become more athletic. The training doesn't change that much. The best training doesn't change that much. You just change how you fuel your body while you're doing that training. Obviously, if you want to go out and run a 10K race, you need to start putting more kilometers on the road. But if you have aesthetic goals, gain muscle, lose fat, or you just want to live better, move better, the workouts are pretty much the same. There's going to be limitations for injuries and mobility and equipment you have access to, but at the end of the day, the workout that you do consistently will be by far the most important factor. And for most people, that's easier to do in a group fitness gym than it is one-on-one at a Good Life or an LA Fitness or any of those types of gyms, but not always. And that's fine too. This isn't a one size fits all. That's just my viewpoint. I got lots more I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole with, but I'm gonna stop here and let you chime in if there's anything you want to ask or add.
At some point, I just want to talk about outside of the gym and inside of our actual community, what you've actually created within Breaking 90 for communication purposes, what you're noticing in terms of the group benefit or community benefit.
Yeah, so this is how Breaking 90 became what it was, is because I all of these feelings, everything I've explained here, I realized that for Breaking 90 to be the best that it could be, it has to offer a little bit of the pros from both of those two options of in-person training. And so when I first started Breaking 90, it was all one-on-one. You would message me, I would message you, I would design your program. If you needed help, we'd hop on a call, we'd hash out the details. As Breaking 90 has evolved now, you have access to multiple coaches and the whole community. And that community, some people aren't going to use that, and that's fine, but you're missing a huge chunk. That community is a big part of what we do. We're pairing you up with other like-minded individuals that you can network with, ask questions with, get to know on a personal level, and hear how they're overcoming struggles that you may need to overcome down the road, or offering advice to a struggle that you've already overcome. That is creating that accountability and community that makes it easier to show up every single day when you're making those relationships. But you also get the one-on-one aspect, the access to the coaches, the customization, which I also think is important for a lot of people on this journey too. So I've tried to take the best of both, pile them into an online program, and create what Breaking 90 is now. That being said, some people should still go to an in-person gym, and lots of our clients do. Lots of our clients go to something like a CrossFit and use us as complementary. Lots of our clients go to a Good Life and use us as complementary. That's cool too. For other people, your best choice might just be to go to that CrossFit, use that as your community, and not even entertain the idea of online training. It's not the perfect fit for everybody. At least Breaking 90 is not the perfect fit for everybody. I think there is an online program out there that is the perfect fit for each person, but whether or not you come across that or find that is another story. Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts or questions, or what did I miss? Or
No, I don't think you missed anything. I liked hearing about your background because you've been able to see the benefits of everything and offer that and validate it too, right? Because some people will listen to this and be like, no, group is something that just makes me want to recoil, and that's okay. And you're hearing those are valid things too. I just know that sometimes we have people reach out who think it is just one-on-one, and they hear they're going to get community, and it's intimidating. So I thought, speaking to the power of group and the power of community might be something that allows them to go, ooh, I actually want that and need that.
Yeah. So working in that group, seeing it now in Breaking 92, but working in the group fitness environment, I did that for about 5 years. And every time a new person comes through those doors, shouldn't say every time, because there's some people that are just really outgoing, right? But most people who come through those doors are going to be super shy at first. They're going to kind of keep to themselves. They're going to do the workout, and they're not going to talk a whole lot. They're going to have friendly chit chat, but they're not going to talk a whole lot. The people who have been there for years and years and years are like almost like best friends. You're seeing each other 3, 4, 5 times a week. You're having those deeper conversations. That's intimidating walking into that as the new person. But through consistency, you quickly become one of those people. It doesn't take long to become one of those insiders. And the same thing happens in Breaking 90. We get a new person into the group. They're pretty shy. They don't engage too much in the community, but they like what they're seeing. They like the conversations they're hearing. They're throwing in their voice a little bit here and there. After a couple months, they're one of those people, and a new person comes in. They're like, wow, I can't wait until I'm like that person. Well, that person was you 2 months ago.
Yeah, you're talking to one of the things, like, as most people know who are listening, my background is psychology. Like, you're talking to our basic need of belonging, right? It's one of our hierarchy of needs as human beings. And I think what's really cool is that when you're working one-on-one with someone, yes, there can be or become a loyalty to that person, but it's far different when you end up feeling a loyalty or a belongingness to a group, right? There's an identity that forms. And we see it in the way that people wear our swag, where they're here, they get swag within, 1 or 2 months, and they're proudly wearing it and displaying it on social media because they like what the group represents. And I think what's really incredible too, and I see this a lot with Coach Mo inside and outside of Breaking 90, where she becomes one of those people that just like envelops the new person, like just folds them right into the actual group to make them feel that sense of belonging right out of the gate, which is incredible. Because like you said, it is intimidating when you're like, shit, they look like family. How do I become that, but not impose myself? Well, when the family opens their arms and they're like, hey, there's room at the table for another, it's pretty profound.
And I'll let you in on a secret. Like that is a huge part of the way that I've chosen the coaches that I've chosen is you choose people that people want to be around. Like
Cool.
it's at the end of the day, the most scientific coach is not going to do the best because they can't relate to people on a personal level. We have chosen coaches that people just want to talk with and hang out with because they're fun. And people will say that about all of our coaches. That's a huge part of the community, is just being around like-minded people that are easy to talk to. I think that's the number one most important factor in who we bring into this team and into this thing that we're creating.
Very cool. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm trying to think here if I've missed anything. So I guess aside from that, there's the cost factor, because one-on-one coaching ranges anywhere from nowadays probably $50 to $200 an hour. And so most people aren't going, like, the top end coaches are charging between $100 and $200 an hour for sure. Most people aren't paying $100 per session if they want to go to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's going to get extremely expensive, but the group opportunities make that a possibility, right? That's the other side to that. But even cost aside, I would choose the group every day of the week. Like eventually I will go back to a group fitness gym. I don't right now because I have my community, my people, and I have a 5-year-old son at home that I want to spend that time with. But when he gets older and more independent and I have some of those hours free, I will go back to a group community, not as a coach, but as a member.
Well, that's I think really great for people to hear too, that a coach wants that for themselves, not just to facilitate it, because that's speaking to the authenticity of what you actually believe in.
Yeah, it's the same as online. I've hired other coaches and I've participated in many other programs for similar reasons. It's not that I'm trying to gain more information. You do inevitably learn some things along the way, often more from like the habit, lifestyle, and skills side of things than the actual science side. But it's more or less to have that community, that accountability, and that extra part of your team there. I love hiring coaches and for myself and being part of that community and team, because everybody needs accountability sometimes, right?
Yeah, and that little push.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
I hope this podcast gets people thinking about who their groups are in their life, whether it's health and fitness or not, like who holds them accountable, who creates momentum in their life, and motivation as well.
That's awesome. There's that saying that we become the product of the people that we spend the most time with. That's financially, that's in life choices, that's in health and fitness. Like that's inevitable. You hang around with a bunch of people that you don't want to be like, you are going to start becoming more like them.
Yes, that includes family.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
That's awesome. I feel like that was a tip, but would you like to leave us with a tip?
Yeah, something that I've probably mentioned this on a podcast at some point, but it's worth re-mentioning. I have all these little tricks and things I like to give to our clients, and one that I've been thinking of a lot lately, maybe because I've been using it for myself, is adding movement breaks into your day. So breaking your actual exercise up into manageable pieces on busy days in particular. So if you have 2 days, 5 days, 3 days a week that you know are much busier and you have less time, the way this works is you create a list of movement breaks. These should be 5 to 10 minutes long that you can complete relatively easily, and they're environmentally friendly. And what I mean by that is, like, you're not going to do sprints while you're at work on your lunch break
Right.
in your suit. And right, so that's what I
Yep.
mean by environmentally friendly. So you're picking movement breaks that are doable in 5 to 10 minutes with your current environment. Now you're gonna pick 3 to 5 times of day that it would be easiest for you to fit a 5 to 10 minute movement break in. So for most people, that's waking up 5 to 10 minutes early is 1, before work 2, lunch break 3, right after work 4, when the kids go to bed 5. Those are the most 5 common. It doesn't need to be those 5. Pick the times of day it would be the easiest for you to fit a 5 to 10 minute movement break in. Then you make your lists for each one. Okay, if I do a movement break here are 1 to 4 options I could do here. Stair climbs, take the dog for a walk, run around the block, climb that big hill out behind the office, walk the halls at work, walk the stairs at work, do a little circuit in your basement, a stretch routine, a 5-minute yoga routine. They could be any of these things. Pick things that you realistically can do where you're at, and then assign them to those times of day. Then what you do is at each one of those movement check-ins, you say, am I where I should be in terms of movement for this time of day? So say it's easy if you have a fitness tracker because you can just track steps or move goal. So say at noon, your lunch one goes off, you look at your watch, you're like, oh, I'm way behind on my step count for this time of day. Insert movement break. Vice versa, you look at your watch, you're like, oh, I've been so busy today that I've actually blown it out of the water. You can skip that movement break. You don't have to do every single one. They're there as kind of a top up for those extra busy days where you're probably not going to fit in a 20 to 40 minute workout.
Cool.
That's it.
Yep. Love it. So accessible.
Yeah, I love it too, because everybody's life is busy in 2023. This is very manageable. We're talking 25 minutes of option, and you may only need to use 5 to 10 minutes of it when it makes sense in that day.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thanks for listening. What I'm going to ask you to do is, wherever you're listening to this, take a screenshot with your phone right now, share it to your Instagram story, and tag us in it so that we can get more listeners like you. Thanks for being here. Have a great day.